You're listening to Bigfoot Club podcast, Cryptid Sports Entertainers for Life.
Hey, everybody. Bigfoot Club, season 76, episode 12. It's season 6, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Steven, and I'm here with
Robert Dominguez.
How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. I'm pretty excited today because we haven't had this guy on our show in a while. Matthew Reginald Bartholomew Nappers.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
How the hell are you, man?
Roadhouse. I just watched the Roadhouse remake.
Oh, what did you think of it?
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
Oh man. They took a classic nostalgic movie for me and ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it through. Only the reason why I watched it was for Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
That's the only. I mean, if it was called something else,
It should have been called something else.
like Beach Fight USA or
Bouncers.
Bouncers or Us, I don't know. Something like that. I can't, like, the fight scenes were good. It's just the story was not Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was garbage.
It's garbage, yeah. And then Conor McGregor's like, oh, everyone's like, he did a great job. He's a great actor. I go, he's just playing himself. That's all he's doing. It's not right.
Yeah, the only thing he didn't do was that swag walk like he always does.
No, he did it.
Did he?
Yes, he
Oh,
did.
okay.
He
Yeah,
did like
the entire movie.
Yeah, he did like 3 scenes where it was like a close-up of him doing it.
Wasn't he naked too?
I think so, yeah.
Doing the swag walk.
Doing the
yeah.
swag walk, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so. Yeah, the movie, yeah.
Matt, I wanted to say you haven't been on our show in a while. I think since the beginning of this season. We're on
I
episode
keep
12.
asking and
Yeah.
keep asking, and you just won't let me come on anymore. I don't
Whatever.
Don't say
know. I
that,
don't know
man.
what happened. I guess I tanked the last time I was on or something.
No, you've been busy, man. You do a lot of content, and I listen to your show all the time, so I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're pretty busy, man. It's hard to pin you down and get you on a show, but I think you were pretty free on today's Saturday, so but I wanted to do before we start, I wanted to do a special shout out to and Matt, you brought this to my attention, Brandon Spain. He does Unrefined Podcasts.
Yeah.
And he did a meme on us, which I thought was pretty funny, and it says it's a picture of the Fight Club. And it says, the first rule of Bigfoot Club, don't talk about Bigfoot Club.
And then we immediately talked about Bigfoot Club.
Yes.
So we're out of the group?
Yeah,
We're out of the group.
We're out.
We're out of the club.
And so you messaged me and say, hey, do you know this guy? And I said, no. And I looked it up, and I messaged him. I said, hey, can I post this? And he goes, yes, wait. What are you talking about? I said, oh, yeah, sorry. So special shout out to him, man. Thanks for doing that. I really appreciate it. So
That's how you do it, man.
I know.
That's how you do it. Spread love like that.
So, Matt, what's going on in the Bigfoot Crossroads?
Oh man, traffic jam.
What kind of traffic jam?
A traffic jam of bullshit.
Really?
Can I say bullshit on this show?
You sure can.
You know, Matt,
Am I allowed to speak freely?
Matt, we pride ourselves on not cursing on any episode, and I can say for Robert and for myself, I'm pretty fucking proud of that.
I am too.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking awesome, man.
I know,
you
man.
should, keep that shit up.
Yeah. That's our goal, man. That's our plan.
Yeah, to get Matt to cuss, that takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Some shit's about to go down.
It's just been, I'm sure you guys understand this. It's just been one of those weeks where it's like, I love talking about Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I love the folklore of Bigfoot, the history, the research. I love Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I love podcasting. And I love Bigfoot podcasting. But this has just been one of those weeks, man, where everybody's just annoying me. Like, I'm just really put off by the Bigfoot community right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because normally I talk to you like maybe like once a week. I think this week I talked to you like 3 times. So
Yeah.
you were so put off. We were talking a lot this week. So
Yeah, it's there hasn't been any positive experiences for me this week whenever the Bigfoot world comes into play.
well, let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, what's been going on in the Bigfoot world?
I feel like I'm at therapy. I'm at Bigfoot therapy.
That's what we call, like, we're not therapists. We're not licensed therapists. We don't.
No, yeah.
We don't do that. We listen though.
Yeah, we have good
listen.
ears.
Yes.
We have good ears, and we don't judge. This is a judge-free zone.
Oh, and I feel like I finally made it. One conversation I had this past week with one of my friends, Sean, the guy that owns the comic book store here in town.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling me that whenever he talks about me to his family and other friends that I don't know of his, he refers to me as Bigfoot Matt. So I've officially got the Bigfoot moniker added to my name.
Oh, snap.
So I have joined the likes of Bigfoot Bob.
Bigfoot Matt. I
Yeah,
love it.
so I was really happy to hear that.
Bigfoot Matt. Dang. Why haven't that? I'm ashamed of ourselves that we haven't even.
Yeah,
That should have came from us, man.
it should have.
We suck, man. I'm sorry.
I know we kind of let him down.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean,
Thanks, Sean, for taking the lightning and the thunder.
well, when you're all Bigfooters, you don't really call each other Bigfoot whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Hey.
Pitch
Pittsburgh,
Coke and a
Coke.
Coke. Yeah.
Tacos runner.
Oh man. So getting back to what's going on this
Getting
week
back.
with you?
Man, so a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy in a Facebook group that posted a brief story about how I'll spare certain details, but basically he said that 50 years ago, he was witness to someone shooting and killing a Bigfoot here in Oklahoma. And there were apparently 3 other Bigfoot at the time that were there. So I guess it was like a family of Bigfoot or whatever. But unlike a lot of internet rumors, this guy just came across like he said that he just had to get it off his chest, that he's kept it a secret all these years. And it wasn't in necessarily a Bigfoot group. It was a Facebook group for like weird stuff in the state of Oklahoma, but it's mostly paranormal stuff. There's not really that much Bigfoot stuff in that group. And he was like open to like, this is exactly where it happened. This is the guy's name that shot the Bigfoot. Like, he's giving up information, which is another thing that you don't really ever hear of. And so I got excited and I reached out to the guy and I was like, hey, I'm from Oklahoma. I'd love to hear more about this story. And he was like, okay, well, what do you want to know? And I was like, well, where did it happen? He tells me exactly where it happens. A nearby lake called Tin Killer, which is by a town called Tahlequah, where I have family and grew up going up there, every summer and everything. Very familiar with the area. And he's like telling me the exact location at the lake. And I'm like, wow, this is really neat. And I know that he's like an older guy. And he had mentioned before that he didn't really like typing everything out on the computer. He's not real computer savvy. And so I said, hey, I'll call you if you'd prefer to talk on the phone instead of type everything out. He said, sure, no problem. Call me anytime. Here's my number. So I asked him, are you free now? And he said, yeah. And then like 2 seconds after he says yes, he comes back and says, well, maybe a little later, company just pulled up. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll be free off and on all day. I'll check back in with you. And yeah, that was the last time I heard from him. I've messaged him numerous times. I've texted him. No response. And he's made other Facebook posts. He did accept my Facebook friendship or whatever, so I've seen, his posts and stuff, but
so hopefully he's not ghosting you.
Yeah, hopefully not, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
I mean, he opened up to you at least. That's the positive part. I mean, maybe he's old school, maybe he takes his time, maybe he'll come around. So, I'm hoping you get the story because that's you don't get a lot of stories like that.
No, you don't.
It's probably Twitch telling him to cover it up. Oh, sorry.
And then there was another person I ran across, this time in a Bigfoot group on Facebook. A young lady that shared a story that was pretty interesting to me. And so I interviewed her and released that episode this week. And spoiler alert, she told a story about how she went out camping with her boyfriend and some friends at the time. And they were, they heard some noises in the woods, some breaking of branches and things like that. So they dared one another, to go out into the woods, see how far you can walk out into the woods. And so they're out there, just trying to scare each other or whatever. And according to her, she runs smack dab into a Bigfoot, just walks right into one. And her boyfriend scoops her up and takes off running, and this thing chases after her. And they get back in the tent. There's like multiple people. I don't remember how many people she said that were there, but they're all huddled up in the tent. And this thing's just circling their camp all night. What we would consider as researchers, bluff charging and putting on a display.
Right.
But they're terrified, they wait until daylight creeps up and before they open the tent and look out and everything, the noises had settled down and everything seemed clear. And so they took off and left all their camping gear there and everything. But she said everything was just like thrown around and just destroyed, basically.
I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't want to give away your episode. But did she do a good description of this creature?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She did.
Wow.
Good enough for me, at least. And then, it sounded like a pretty traumatizing event. Yeah. And she was, pretty shaken up by it and everything.
Did she say it was a male or female?
I didn't ask, and she didn't say.
Oh, so she didn't see his junk. Okay.
Yeah, I don't ask about Bigfoot dicks on my show. That's your area. I let you guys have it.
Someone's going to be so happy with this moment. He's going to be laughing.
What?
No, I was just saying, Brian. He loves whenever we do randomly say that. It could be me. It could be Robert.
Did you see its junk?
Yeah. Did you see his junk?
Hey, that's what you guys are known for. Bigfoot Club has the deets on the deets.
Oh, Matt, I love you so
much. Yeah. So years later, she lives in rural Georgia. And she's got a young daughter at the time. This all happened years ago. And they're walking home from the store, I think. And she sees another Bigfoot. And her daughter sees it and starts freaking out. And so she's like trying to get her daughter to take the house keys and run home. This thing's putting on a display, looks unhappy or whatever. And she grabs her daughter and takes off running for the house. And this thing pursues after them. And they make it to the house. And it kind of stops at the end of her driveway. She says she has a real long, gravel driveway or whatever. And it stopped at the end of the driveway. Everything's safe. But she was freaked out because she thought that first incident was a one-time experience. It will never happen again. Yada, yada. And then several years later, it happens again.
Wow.
Now, so here's the issue. This is a pretty fantastical story.
Mm-hmm. Have to agree.
Not one, but two encounters, but they're really intense encounters, aggressive encounters. And I get it, as if you're listening, you might have some doubts. as a podcast host who has a podcast based on witnesses sharing their experiences in a safe place where I'm not going to, like, you know, go after them or ridicule them or pass judgment or anything. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, I've never even heard the person's story. So I'm hearing it for the first time myself in detail. It's just a story. You know, it's there for information. Yes, it's there to help people who might have experienced something on their own and are having a hard time, you know, coping with it. And it does good to hear other people share their experiences and encounters. But at the end of the day, it is just entertainment and it is just a story. Take it for what it is. This isn't a person who submitted a sighting report and it's, you know, a formal investigation by a Bigfoot group. This is just a lady sharing her story on a podcast. That's all it is. And people in the YouTube comments just tore her apart, just went after her. And it just really kind of bothers me, man, because the same people that are tearing her apart for her story will sit there and applaud somebody else on a different podcast that says that they were part of, like, some top secret strike force that was part of a military unit that went and eradicated a rogue Bigfoot up in the Rocky Mountains, which is total bullshit.
Yeah.
That they're just making up and lying. And I just get so sick of that whole cult-like mentality that people have where anything that gets said on this podcast is gospel, but if somebody says something that's a little questionable on this one, we need to tear them apart. We need to tear them down. Like, dude, if she's making up the story, that's on her. But either way, she was brave enough to come on a podcast and share it.
Yeah.
And put herself out there.
Did she see these comments or did she?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's unfortunate. And, you know, whenever other people who listen to your show, they're on YouTube, they see this, they read the comments, that stuff like that will make them not want to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know Steven and I, we've talked about that on Bigfoot bullying,
Mm-hmm.
or, how people, you know, they seem to judge other people, like you were saying, and that's just not good. I mean, it's not good. I mean, people are allowed to have their opinion. I get that.
Absolutely. Of course.
But, you know, to attack somebody for sharing a story, come on. I mean, there's some stories that I read, I know that they're probably bullshit, but I don't say nothing. I just leave it for what it is, and I just move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have both conducted Bigfoot investigations. We both have, like, interviewed witnesses on behalf of, like, a group, mm-hmm. you know, in response to a sighting report. That's not what a podcast is, though. That's not what we're doing.
Right.
I'm interviewing a witness, yes. I'm interviewing them about their story. Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's a story. I'm not interrogating them. I'm not investigating their sighting. And I don't really pass judgment on them. And as a listener, I think, okay, you listen to the story. Fine if you think it's bullshit. So what? You know? You're not going to believe every single Bigfoot story you hear, or maybe you will, but then you probably have some problems. You don't need to attack the person for sharing their story,
right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you, because I know, you know, your show is based on witness and stuff. We get witnesses every now and then on our show, and whenever we do get witnesses, sometimes our witnesses, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure I've heard it in yours before too, but I wanted our listeners to hear your opinion on this. But whenever you do have these people on and they do ask you questions, or they'll ask you, hey, how come it was doing this? Or why did I see this? Or why was it in this area? I mean, we would get questions like that from some of our witnesses. And sometimes Steven and I, we try to, you know, enlighten them on possibilities or, you know, some theories on what we think, why they either saw the Bigfoot or what this Bigfoot was doing in that particular area. Do you get that sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. I don't really like it whenever the guest starts asking me questions, because I feel like that's kind of putting the spotlight more on me, and that's not what I'm about.
Right.
I want to keep the spotlight on them. But I'm more than happy to help them out the best I can with, whatever theories I have. And I did that on this last episode, as a matter of fact, because even if she's not telling the truth, which I'm not saying she is or isn't, I'm not, I'm not voicing my opinion one way or the other.
Right.
But I still gave her some possible, situations that maybe she overlooked, or maybe this is what was going on and you were immersed in the moment, mentally and emotionally. So maybe you looked at it from a different way and didn't really notice that it might have been this instead, because somebody listening might very well have been in an encounter that they considered aggressive, and maybe the advice that I'm giving her might help them.
Right.
So it's not just about whether the person on the show is telling the truth or not, or trying to discern, if they're lying to me or not. It still goes back to, I'm trying to help people, period.
I think that, because this is just my opinion. If someone comes onto your show and talks about their encounter, I mean, they're not gaining anything by it, right? You're not giving them money. They're not getting endorsements. So they're just getting something off their chest. So, again, like I'm saying, I haven't heard this story. I'm not judging her. I'm not saying that she's telling the truth or lying, but, I know, Steven and I, whenever we interviewed the guy from South Carolina, he had 5 occurrences, and those were all kind of fantastical. But we were kind of saying, Matt, on our show that sometimes we felt that our opinion was that these Bigfoots pick out people sometimes, and they may not be the same Bigfoot that, in these different encounters, but for some reason, some person may have a different frequency than others. And
they get marked,
or they get, attention, or, what's a good word I'm looking for? Kind of like a lighthouse, kind of like an anchor or something. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I think it's a possibility for sure. There's definitely something going on, which you and I have talked about, where it seems like once you experience something, it's kind of like you're in for life. You're going to experience other things, and it's probably going to cross over into different areas than you would expect. And the same case with this girl. I asked her towards the end of the show, have you experienced anything else besides Bigfoot? And according to her, again, I don't know if she's telling the truth or not, but according to her, she's actually had several near-death experiences. Something that you and I can definitely relate to.
Yes.
And since she had those experiences, she has seen some deceased loved ones at different times. And I asked her, I said, is this something that happens frequently? Is this all the time? Or was it just you saw them once? And she said, it's just once. I've just seen them once. But each time it's in a different situation where she's going through something and she sees one of them, and it kind of comforts her and helps her get through whatever she's facing at the time.
Right.
That's so the only thing I could say about that is she thinks that Bigfoot was and I'll just briefly say it because I don't want to, it's on your show, but this thing was probably being aggressive because, I don't know, maybe there was she's walking home alone with her daughter from the store, right?
Yeah.
To the house, or to your house. I don't know how far of a walk that is. There could have been someone that was trying to kidnap them.
There could have been a lot of
There could have been a lot of scenarios like that, and the Bigfoot was just probably, in a way, trying to guide them home. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been as simple as she took off running.
It could have been that, too.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot of things, but I don't know. Yeah, it's when you get marked on something like that, it's I don't know. I
mean, I hate to ask this question or even implicate it, but usually, whenever we were interviewing people, especially a woman, and this is, I don't want to get anybody grossed out, but whenever we would do investigations in the field, and we had female investigators with us, we used to always ask them, are they menstruating? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes that gives off, a lot of energy.
Yep.
Estrogen gives off a lot of energy. And it's like, I wonder if she was going through that, or she was going through her cycle, or maybe, how close was this, this paranormal spiritual event that she had or witnessed to her seeing the Bigfoot? How close that, in timeline was that? And was it a factor of her energy and her aura or whatever? I don't know. I'm just
I don't know.
I'm just spitballing.
No, you're right. There's a lot of questions where if it's an investigation, you ask these questions,
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, if she was lying, she was a good liar.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I look for personally, and I'm not saying that, she could have listened to other Bigfoot podcasts and put together a description of Bigfoot. That's not hard to do. Anybody can do it. People do it all the time. Not to burst anybody's bubble,
right.
But a lot of people that go on these podcasts are just people that are fans of those podcasts, and they've heard thousands of them, and they've concocted a story based on the information that they've gotten from listening to these podcasts to begin with. And so they create a story, they reach out, they come on the show, and they tell their fabricated story using details that they've heard other people mention in the past. Mm-hmm. So it can sound like they're being authentic because, they're giving away details, but at the same time, it's details that they've heard from somebody else, and perhaps that person was telling the truth. So, it's one of those things where I've been involved in investigations where it gets to the point where you don't really know if the person's telling the truth or not. You can have your suspicions, but they're not going to tell you that they're lying.
Right.
So unless they've given you some sort of physical evidence or a picture or a video or something that you can prove is fake, there's nothing really you can do with the story. Mm-hmm. You can form an opinion. And in my opinion, it's up to the listener to do that. It's not my job to sit there and say this person's lying or telling the truth. The listener can determine that for themselves.
I have to agree with you.
Yep.
So I can't wait to listen to this episode. The one Matt's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Chased by Bigfoot, and it's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yep.
Chased by Bigfoot.
Chased by Bigfoot.
Did she give her name or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I have her name.
Okay. That's good.
Name and phone number.
Nice.
Yeah, so take it for what it is,
Sorry about scaring you.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
I texted my mom, said we're doing the show.
So, hopefully she doesn't get mad.
No,
what did she want?
She just wanted. Earlier today, my brother-in-law had a flat tire and no one was helping him, so
I heard
I had to drive like an hour to Dallas and go help him and get his tire fixed and get back on the road. So, so she's probably calling me, checking up on me.
Well, that was very nice of you.
Yeah,
that's Robert.
Karma. I just, I know a lot of people helped me when I was having car problems in Tulsa way back in the day, and so I don't want to say no to him. I said, well, I'm just gonna go help him. I didn't do I just pulled in, and well,
you pulled in the Jack in the Box parking lot
off of 35 in Hampton, and and took him to go get his tire fixed and patched, which was right up the street, and then we got back and we jacked up his car, put the tire on.
Jacked up his car at Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure. So anyway,
the point is,
where did you take him to get his tire patched?
It was right up the street. We were looking for a discount tire, but we saw, in the part of town that we live in Dallas, Snow Cliff, there's a lot of like tire places that are run by Spanish people.
Really?
And they're just everywhere. And so we were driving, we were going to Discount Tire to go do it. And then we saw it. I go, I'm turning here. So I pulled in there, and those guys, they'll take care of you quick. And they'll sell you a chicken and a goat to you at the same time.
I'll throw in the jarritos too. Woo!
So I don't know the name of the place, but it was like right off, I think it was Camp Wisdom. So
it could have been somebody's garage for all you know. Like,
no, it was a place that had a company sign. I just didn't look up at it. So
I'm giving you the stink eye.
It's all right.
Well,
we take our tires to the same type establishments, just for the record.
Yeah. I mean, because you can get it done quick.
Yeah, I was just curious if that's where you took it.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Of course. Like I said, we were doing Google Maps, and we were going to Discount Tire, and then I saw that place, and I just turned. I said, "We're going here." So
we're doing it.
Yep,
we are doing it.
So Matt, I know that's not the end of your stories.
No.
What?
I know that's not the end of your stories.
No.
On what happened this week.
I can give you 76 reasons why I think that's not the end of your story. 76.
76 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So occasionally, not very often, but occasionally, I will run across something on social media somewhere, and I will actually comment. It's not very often, because I learned that it usually doesn't go well. Because typically, whenever I comment on something, it's not to say, "Hey, I think you're absolutely right. Great job." Mm-hmm. So this past week, I ran across a post that caught my attention, and I felt like I needed to say something. Yeah, Matt Moneymaker.
Matt Moneymaker with BFRO?
Yes, the Finding Bigfoot fame.
Okay.
Arguably the, dare I say, top Bigfoot investigator in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not, co-signing on his abilities and skills.
Right.
But knowledge, experience, notoriety. I mean, he founded the BFRO. He was the star of Finding Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy's a legend. He's a legend.
He's an icon.
He is, absolutely. And so he had posted some recent reports, shared them from the BFRO website. I guess there was a string of reports in a generalized area of Tennessee, I think. And he had done a follow-up post talking about one of them, which I have to apologize. I have not done my homework. I have not deep dived into the original reports or anything. But this particular post, had caught my attention. I had shared some recent posts of his. One in particular, that there is an actual photograph of a track that I thought looked good, so I shared it. And this post I was reading on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now known as X. And he was talking about this recent report where this young lady, I guess, was playing a video game in her room and saw a Bigfoot at her window. And he had deduced that surely the Bigfoot was not drawn to this young lady in the window, but all the vibrant colors and action taking place on her large computer monitor where the video game was displayed. And so he had asked her what video game she was playing, which was Fallout 76. And then he goes on and posts a YouTube link to, the video game clips or whatever. Obviously, he was not familiar with Fallout 76 or video games in general. You could tell that just from what he was saying in the post. And I guess he was talking about how Bigfoot may have been upset by the human on animal violence in the video game. So yeah, me and my big fat mouth. I mean, I felt that he was skipping something. Now, I don't know if he just was ignorant to the fact, but as a former investigator, I think that an investigator should point out, make note of the fact that this young lady was playing Fallout 76, which is chock full of cryptids, like famous cryptids, like a whole list of cryptids show up in this video game. It's known for its cryptids. And she happened to see a cryptid at her bedroom window while she's playing this cryptid video game. And he didn't even mention that. So I just made the comment, you know, hey, she happened to be playing a game known for its cryptids and then happened to see a cryptid at her window. I think it's noteworthy in the investigation. I think that should be mentioned. And I don't think he liked that. I don't think he liked it at all. He responded very condescendingly, in my opinion, asking me basically, what are you trying to say? Making some reference to Fallout 76 being a popular video game that lots of people play, which I don't know what bearing that has on anything. And asked me, so what's your little theory? My little theory. Huh. I don't have a theory. I didn't conduct a witness interview. I'm not part of this investigation. I don't have a theory. I'm just pointing out something to me that's totally obvious. And that's what I told him. It's just an observation. I think it should be at least noted, you know, that she's playing this video game that has all these different cryptids in it. And then she happens to see a Bigfoot at her window. I don't know if she saw a Bigfoot or not, but, you know, I think it should be part of the investigation, though. It's like, if you're going to talk about it, you should mention that. And I did make the reference that it's like seeing an alien while you're watching E.T. at home. Like, I think that would be called into question if you saw an alien while you were watching E.T. I think it should be called into question that while you're fighting Mothman, you saw Bigfoot staring at you through the window.
Yep. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
So did you respond to him at all or no?
That was my response.
Yeah.
And the last time I checked, he didn't respond farther. So.
No, because there's nothing. I don't think he realized what you were trying to point at, you know.
Because he's clueless. He didn't do his homework as a researcher.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's pretty obvious. Right?
Yeah.
That's right there. Like, you know, that's why I'm not saying like it's
he's being lazy is what he's doing.
You know, yeah, like and and to say it's a very popular video game. It's only popular right now because of the Fallout show.
Right.
Everyone's going to play Fallout, which is great. That's fine. It was not popular before that. You know, it was just a game. People are still playing it online. I still play it occasionally, but I'm not going to go. I would rather play Fallout 4 or Fallout 3 or New Vegas before that. But yeah, it was an observation, and I don't think I cleared it up on that last tweet you did, Tim.
I watched people play it on Twitch, and these are people who are like diehard Fallout fans, you know, that have been playing Fallout for years, and pretty much all of them were like, "Yeah, it's not that great of a game."
No,
they were playing it because it was there, basically.
Yeah,
and if I'm not mistaken, I think like the whole thing about it was it had like it was basically like an MMO or something. Like you got to play with other people and stuff.
Yep.
And have like PvP and stuff, which was new to Fallout.
Yep.
And then, like you said, the television show came out, the series, which was amazing in my opinion. I thought it was great.
Yes.
And whenever that show came out, for whatever reason, Fallout 76 had a resurgence and everybody started playing it again.
Yep.
Probably people that were new to the series and it was the latest Fallout, so that's what they played.
Yep.
But the thing that originally caught my attention about Fallout 76 was I was watching somebody play it, And like all of a sudden Mothman shows up. I'm like, oh, cool. Mothman's in this. And like, oh, wait. So is like all these other cryptids.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's based in West Virginia too.
Yeah.
To those who don't know, that's why Mothman's there.
And there's like the blue dog, which is like, you know,
Yep.
a chupacabra type thing, but it shows up in the video game as a dog man. There's like sheep squatch. There's like snallygaster.
Yep.
There's a bunch of cryptids.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, sure, it's possible. So you just happen to be playing that specific game and just happen to have a Bigfoot walk up to her window and watch her play it.
Yep. I think she needs to watch a movie or a video of someone winning the lottery while playing the lottery and winning the lottery.
Yeah.
What gets me on this one is that, you know, Matt Moneymaker, he's one of the top guys in BFRO. He's a top investigator. He's been on a TV show, so I'm sure the TV show people tell him, you know, these are your points or these are your marks. This is, you know, this goes first, this goes second. We're going to shoot this first. So he should know steps and stuff on this. So I think on what Matt was saying on here, and this is just my opinion, I think it's just being lazy and just didn't do this homework like Matt was saying, or Matt was questioning on this social media response. So that's on him, man.
I wasn't really. I mean, I know Matt Moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We don't talk or anything, but I have history with him, especially on the internet. He's technically the first person I ever talked to in the Bigfoot world. And I know people, like, I know his best friend. I'm friends with his best friend. So I know how he can be. So I wasn't like just coming after him or anything.
No.
I was literally just like, in my own smart ass way, pointing out something that I thought was overlooked.
By her.
And instead of like taking the information or like hitting me up and being like, what do you mean? Or looking further into it himself, he came back as a dick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just no reason for that. Like, if you're actually conducting, like, this was a sighting report submitted to the BFRO, which is your organization. You're investigating it. You're making these big social media posts about it. Here's some more information that you either left out or didn't know about. And I'm assuming you didn't know about it, because if you did know about it and you didn't mention that part, shame on you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So he should have just taken it as new information, or at the very least just asked me, like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, cryptids?
Yeah, no, he should have just tweeted.
What's your little theory? What's your little theory, nobody?
Yeah.
How dare you question the all great and powerful wizard? Like, screw you, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I've said this before, but I know when I first got into Bigfoot, I was reaching out. You know, that's the first website I went to was, you know, the BFRO, and I emailed them. I emailed Matt Moneymaker, and I wanted to join that group, and you know, that was my first interaction, like reaching out to anybody in the Bigfoot world in the very beginning of whatever I started. So.
And you say that then you needed like a college education or something like that?
A PhD or something.
PhD,
somebody eventually wrote back to me and said, you know, that they were only accepting PhD people or something like that. I go, okay.
Okay.
This was like
I was literally asked, how much money can I contribute?
What you mean, money?
Yeah. Do you have any money you can contribute?
Yeah, what's my little theory of a bank gonna contribute to this?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, no, I saw the tweets too, and I was just like, yeah. If I was him, I would have said, hey, Mr. Matthew Reginald Bartholomew Nappers, can you elaborate on your last tweet?
Or just like or he slipped into his DM.
Or slipped into his DM and be like, yo, man, like, what you mean? What you mean about these cryptids and Fallout 76?
And I'm not trying to like play this card or anything.
Yeah.
But
homeboy knows who I am.
Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't know who I am.
I mean, we've been doing this about the same time. The only difference is he's had a bigger platform than we have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, he knows. He knows my name. So for him to like be like that, and like I said, I've talked to him back and forth on the internet before for years. So whatever, dude.
Well, I guess
I'll keep my little theories to myself.
I'm going to say this because this is my show. Whatever, bitch.
Yeah. So I guess what can you say on this, Matt? Whenever like a person like him gets into a position where he's like a media hound, like these types of egos, would you say like in the Bigfoot community, there's a lot of this?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of
there's from people who don't even have TV. Right? You know,
yeah,
they don't even have TV, and they act this way sometimes. So
that's sad. That's like really sad. Like, because you have a person who's traumatized and they witnessed something. They saw Bigfoot, and can you imagine them going to these type of people?
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Well, what did your little eye see?" You know,
but that's who they have to go to.
That's sad.
that's all that's out there.
Yeah.
My goodness. That makes me mad.
I mean, I'm sure there's local groups, but they're not, have a lot of publicity or something.
Where are they? How do you reach them?
Exactly.
I'm not going to name anybody on this one.
Do
okay.
it. Name
them.
I'm not going to. I am not. I mean, hellfire and brimstone would like rain down if I said this person's name and the right person heard it. But there is a researcher who is someone that I would consider a veteran researcher who is very well respected, has a very well known organization, and it's a person that gives presentations at conferences. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This person today, I saw a post that they made or somebody made sharing their post where they were at a conference giving a presentation, and up on the screen behind them was this picture that was reportedly taken by a trail camera, but somebody had taken their phone and taken a picture of the picture on a screen. Oh, and this was that picture. Okay. And it's being presented as a Bigfoot photo that's never been released before. And I'm just looking at this post, and up on that big, huge screen behind this guy is literally the most recognizable, well-known Bigfoot costume that anybody can buy that I have seen hundreds of times. And this well-known veteran researcher that's well-respected is standing in front of this picture like, look what we got. Is it supposed to be a joke? Are you telling me he doesn't recognize this costume that I can glance at for 2 seconds and instantly recognize?
Hopefully he was at a library.
No, he was not at a library. And I'm just like, what is going on, man? What is going on?
Click counts? I don't know.
Like, how can you put that out there? And he's got this whole story about it and everything. And I'm not saying he's lying about the story, but as a researcher, like, really, you don't recognize that. Not only you don't recognize a costume whenever you see a costume, but you don't recognize that costume. All you hit Google Bigfoot costume and you'll see it. Like, that's all it takes. One Google search. It blows my mind, man. It blows my mind.
They're your friends, man.
They're not. They're not my friends.
I'm just going back to, that's just a shame that, that
I am rapidly becoming anti-establishment.
Yeah. It's the ego, man. Like, and I got offended for you just by looking at the tweet and like, what's your little,
everybody wants to be the boss. Everybody wants to be the star, the top dog.
I get it. You can do that, but still be a decent human being. Jesus Christ. Like,
but that's the thing. Nobody's actually trying to get answers and get the truth anymore. I take that back. Okay. I know some people. I know some good researchers that aren't like this at all. And they do their due diligence and their work and they put in the time and the research and everything and spend tremendous amounts of money out of their own pockets, and they don't seek out fame. They do go to libraries and give presentations. They give educational workshops. They don't try to like get paid $3,000 to fly to some Bigfoot conference and sign autographs like some people do. But then there's this whole group out there of people where the only thing they're interested in is making a name for themselves.
Will they carry autograph pictures of themselves?
May possibly do that, yes.
Jesus. Oh my God, you're Matt Moneymaker. And to be honest, that's like such an easy Hollywood name. You can't forget that name. You've heard it, so many times, whether you're, I guess, about Bigfoot or not. Matt Moneymaker? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, he's the face of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Him and Jeff Meldrum.
Yeah. That's crazy.
BFRO.
That is crazy. That sucks, Matt. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm nobody.
You're somebody.
It's all right.
That's your little theory.
Yeah.
It is my little theory.
That is your little theory. And it needs to stay away.
Well, number one, I'm glad you found the time to come on to our show. And
bitch.
Yeah, I mean, because I always enjoy you on our show. So,
and it's not bitching; it's just venting.
So
that's what it is.
I mean, we're podcasters now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Cryptid Sports Entertainers.
Yeah.
Cryptid Sports Entertainers.
So that means we all got to play Fallout 76 together.
Yes.
Hey, did you see that deal that I don't know if you'll want to keep this in or not, but that they the WWE signed with like Pennsylvania or Indianapolis or whatever, Indiana? Yeah. It was Indiana.
Mm-hmm. They signed it for like 3 of the major pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. Yeah, I think they're going to start doing that more. And I was reading also today that they're once they go over to Netflix, it's no longer going to be PG anymore.
Yeah, it's Attitude Era all over again.
Yeah.
I would like to see where that goes.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to get that occasional son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how far they push it. Because at the end of the day, they still got to sell toys and T-shirts to kids,
That's true.
Yep. That is true.
Yeah, that is so true.
And they have like the John Cena like push buttons like, what the fuck is up, bitches?
He does cuss. He does cuss a lot now, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially the movies that he's done. Yeah.
Oh yeah, his movies are hilarious.
Yeah. Yep. Funny guy, Mr. Funny Guy.
So,
where are we at?
We're at
27 seconds.
1 minute. 1 minute and 4 seconds. So, I think I can do something with this.
All I did was vent about Bigfoot stuff.
It's okay. It was some good stories.
Yep, there was really good stories there. And, yeah. And just, you don't have little theories. We all don't have little theories.
No,
and we're not beneath egotistical
man,
guy.
I would just say this, man. We have clocked a lot of fucking hours in the woods to have a little fucking theory. I'm just saying that. Mm-hmm. Matt and I have interviewed hundreds of people, and it's not a little fucking theory.
No,
So I would just say that because, just because we're not on TV. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean, we need to be like pushed aside or not, given a chance to give our opinion about stuff. So.
And we're not jealous. I don't know if we're going to be, people are going to be, just jealous. No, not really. We're just, I'm
not jealous. I'm offended.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's
he had no reason to talk to me like that.
Yeah. I don't care who you are. That's disrespectful in my opinion. So. Not jealous, just offended. So
maybe he'll come on the podcast and talk to me about my little theories.
I hope so.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
And if you do, I'm calling in.
Yep. And we're going to use different accents.
What are we going to use?
I don't know. We'll just use
We can use Brando.
stupid. I was calling to see, why you got to talk down on the people about little theories. You just massacred my boy.
Massacred my boy.
Look how they massacred my boy on Twitter. Matt's like, that is the most worst Marlon Brando impression ever. That is all like not even Brando. That's his cousin, Darlin Dando.
Darling Dando.
Old Darlin Dando.
Oh, Darlin Dando.
Matt, what else is going on with the Bigfoot Crossroads? What do you got coming up?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm canceling the podcast. I'm quitting.
No, you're not.
Hanging it all up.
Nope. We won't allow that.
Over with.
Yeah.
Don't upset Brian, man. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm ending it with episode 120. That will be the last episode.
You gonna relaunch it?
No, just hanging it up.
I would relaunch it as Bigfoot's Little Theories.
I was gonna say that. Damn it.
BLT.
Little thing. That should be like the name of my children's book.
Yeah. Come get your BLT.
Bigfoot's Little Theory.
Oh Lord.
We're so petty. I
Yeah,
love it.
and funny. We're funny too.
Yeah. Call this Tom because we petty.
Oh man. Okay. You got any shout outs?
Shout out to B-Town.
B-Town down.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kathy DeBueller.
Mm-hmm.
She's always listening to the show. So thanks, Kathy.
And a big shout out to Matt.
Matt.
Not Matt Moneymaker.
Oh no.
No. Mm-mm. Matthew Reginald
Bartholomew
Little
Theories Nappers.
Little Theory Nappers.
Matt, you got any shout outs?
I mean, I want to shout out you guys.
So
Can I do that? Can I shout out you guys?
yeah, of course.
And yeah, everybody that listens to Bigfoot Club and Bigfoot Crossroads, you should listen to them both every week,
At the same time.
multiple times.
Multiple downloads.
Yeah.
Matt, how does people find Bigfoot Crossroads?
They don't. That's the thing about Bigfoot Crossroads is you don't find it finds you.
Oh,
Boom!
I like that.
okay. So
People know.
yeah, they know
They will find you.
for life. Alrighty, I think we can do something with this show. You want to say goodnight?
Yeah. Good night and
Goodbye. Bang.
bang.